If you tell me your name and your date of birth.
Kenneth Walker, 3rd of the 7th, 1945.
Okay, and where was you born?
Anglesey, North Wales.
You were born in Wales. So what age did you come to Faversham?
When I was about 3.
Were your parents?
And my mother was Welsh, and my father was in the RAF Valley.
Yeah.
And after, I wasn't born in the war, but after the war, they stayed up there, and he was a fireman, and he died of TB when he was 28. My mum moved down here to Faversham. Why, I do not know, but and then we moved down here, and then she met my stepfather. They got married, and we lived in West Street till I was about 18, I suppose. And my mother died when I was 18, so...
So you was in Faversham around 15 years, and your mum passed away?
Yeah.
And where was that?
In West Street.
That was in West Street.
Next to the ball.
So, what schools did you go to then?
I went to Davington School, and then I went to Ethelbert Road Secondary School.
For boys?
The boys, yeah, it was just boys then.
Yeah. What was it like at Davington?
Davington was all right, yeah. I was going to marry one of the teachers up there. Miss Fulliger, her name was. She, back in them days, I think I was about 7 or 8, I suppose. And she used to come to school, and she had skirts with lots of petticoats under them and all that,
Oh, yeah.
She was just a lovely lady, and I said I was going to marry her, but I never did. And but it was a good school. Mr. Masters was the headmaster there, and the only dragon up there was Miss Woodcock, I think, if everybody can remember. She was a reception class, when you went there, but she put you on the straight and narrow. She told you what you could do, what you couldn't do, and if you was in the wrong, you was in the wrong,
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't muck about in them days, not at school.
So Mrs. Fulliger was your favourite teacher?
Oh, she was my favourite teacher, yeah, by a long shot.
What was it like growing up down West Street?
Oh, it was all great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Everybody was, all your neighbours, you knew each other. You could leave your door open. My mum used to leave the back door open for the rent man to come in and collect the rent. It was on the table on a Monday when he was at school, and she used to go to work, and had to leave the money on that, and nobody would go in your house. You'd leave the doors open. And we used to play, because there was no houses past the pond.
Right.
No houses at all, only the ones up Davington Hill, but it was complete fields, and we used to go over there, take a bottle of pop and a bag of crisps and be out all day,
Yeah.
And everybody knew everybody else, And the old boys who used to sit on the railings, we used to call the railings, used to sit there, and from breakfast time till then go home for lunch, then come back and sit there. 4 of them there was, Charlie Ledner and General, we used to call a bloke called the General. Oh, the names are gone now, I can't remember them, but they were there, and if you've done anything wrong, I'll see you, I'll tell your dad, I know your dad, and you used to play in the streets, and then, well, there was no cars, was there? Not as such, but and then highlight of the week, or a couple of days a week, they used to drive all the cattle down to the slaughterhouse down Blood Lane, and we helped them.
Oh, right. So tell me about the slaughterhouse.
Do you know Flood Lane?
Yeah.
We go down the bottom of Flood Lane, and just down the bottom there, as you turn round at the end of the houses on the left, there was a slaughterhouse there, and they used to bring the bullocks and the sheep and the pigs, and they used to drive them down from the station, the drovers, and we used to be out there in our cowboy suits and whips and cap guns and helping them. They didn't like it very much, but we used to do it.
So they brought them in by train?
Yeah, by train, yeah.
So weren't there none around Faversham then, or was it? Can you remember? Or
was there what?
Any cattle around Faversham, was that?
Yeah, there was cattle, but that's when they brought them in.
Yeah, brought them in everywhere.
Yeah, right. They used to all come because that was busy slaughterhouse. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why it's called Tanner Street?
No, there used to be. Well, probably could be something to do with it, but I think there was a leather shop up there, so leather works up there somewhere, or cow hides, and they used to Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, but
No.
that's what I go.
So, did you ever go in the slaughterhouse?
No, I never went in there.
Was it all fenced off in there?
It was. You wouldn't allow it in there, but we.
It being a slaughterhouse, did it smell a lot around?
No, it didn't. No, you couldn't smell it. No, they were very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still can't picture where it was at the end of the house on the left. But
Well, if you go down Flood Lane,
yeah,
Fred Bernard Baston's got his house on the corner of the white one.
Right.
The wall runs along there, and then there's a car park.
yeah,
You know the car park on your right?
Yeah.
Well, from there down was the slaughterhouse.
oh, okay,
Quite big, quite a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was there houses down there as well?
There was a couple of houses when you go by where, you know where the green bit is, the back of
Morrison's.
the West Street houses. You know the houses in West Street where the castle was and that. The kind of in between there was a black shiplapped house there, and or Dolly Kelly, and that her mum and dad lived in one of them, and then there was another one on the corner by the gate where before the gate was put there to the back of Morrison's, and that was another house, and an old lady lived there on her own for years. There was nothing other than that.
No.
Also the gasworks was down there and all, you know, that's where they used to do all the repairs to boilers, I presume. I don't know what they did in there, but there was always in there.
Yeah. What about the shops down that way? Was there lots of shops?
Yeah. We had in West Street we had Mr. Young the baker's. We used to go out there in the morning. My mum used to send me out there in the morning to get the bread, and I used to eat in the middle of it because it was nice, and got told off for that. Mr. Taylor, he was the grocer, and then there was Mrs. Palmer, Mr. and Mrs. Palmer. They had a dairy over where on the corner of Flood Lane on the other side where there was a dairy.
Yeah.
And then there was Stratford's, the greengrocers around in Tanner Street, and then there's 2 or 3 sweet shops up West Street.
Where's Taylor's the grocer?
That's on the corner of Caslock Street, right on the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what about Young the baker's?
He was, I don't know what number it is, but he's halfway up West Street from me, and the co-op was up there. The old co-op, that's that big house on the left-hand side with the big frontage. She sells marmalade and that in the window, whatever you've seen it. But that used to be the co-op. And that the baker's was opposite there. And Harry Swan had it later as a fish shop.
Oh, right.
One-eyed Harry, he had it. That's what we used to call him. He's frightened us, he did. When we were kids, I don't know why I think because he had one eye or something, you know, probably.
And Stratford's, you say it was in...
That was down the street opposite the Gospel Mission. She was a nice lady, little old lady, Mrs. Stratford. Down to Stratford's was all little terraced houses. My gran and granddad lived there. I used to go around there, and a friend of mine lived there. We used to play out in his yard with his dinky toys. And
There was happy times then?
yeah. Well, they were, yeah, because there was none of this, oh, you can't go out in case somebody gets hold of you. And I expect it went on, things like that, but we never, it wasn't advertised, was it, or nothing like that, but we just didn't worry. And your parents didn't worry. They let you out, and we was out all day, you know, and especially in the summer holidays.
Yeah.
You know, you used to go swimming in the pond. You know, I chucked my sister in there a few times and got a new coat once, and I didn't get nothing, so I chucked her in the pond. I got whacking for that, but...
What, with the coat? Did she have the coat on?
Yeah, she had a little suede jacket on.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you come over to Faversham, and your stepfather, was he a Faversham man then?
Yeah, Jack Costin, yeah.
Oh, he was. Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
So was there only you with your mum and dad?
No, there was my sister Anne and my other sister Linda.
Yeah.
But she died when she was about 8. She had a brain hemorrhage.
Oh, right.
So it left just me and my sister and my dad in West Street. We didn't see eye to eye a lot of times, so I moved out and went to stay with a friend of mine.
You say you wandered off playing with your mates?
Yeah.
And where was that, over the back? Well,
Yeah, over here. over here. Punch Jemmett used to have his horses over here.
Yeah.
He was the rag and bone, or the scrap man, or rag and bone man them years ago.
Yeah.
He had 2 or 3 horses. We used to come over here and ride them, but he used to come out and chase us off like he did. And then because this was all cornfields, and in the winter we used to come sledging over here because we used to go down and there used to be the fox hunts used to be over here Boxing Day.
Where did they start the fox hunts? What, up here?
Up down at the bottom down there, down the hill by where the station was.
Yeah.
Yeah. There.
Oh, so where the farm?
Yeah, where Streetfields Farm.
Streetfields.
Yeah.
So, I'll just give me bearings again. So, from Dark Hill, all the way over, there was nothing?
Nothing. No, gravel pits. There was because the train used to take the gravel over because we had all the gravel pits there.
Yeah.
Used to take the train used to run across there all day.
Right. Did you ever ride those?
No, we
rode
didn't.
Everything else?
No, we didn't get it because they was pretty strict on that. You know,
yeah.
Yeah, if they caught you, Snaky Gregory was the copper in them days. Big tall man he was. He got killed at the bottom of Shepherd Neames. You know where Shepherd Neames has got, where you go in the gates at the bottom of Shepherd Neames up there.
Yeah.
And there was the wall at the other side. He was standing there, and the grain lorry's brakes failed and crushed him against the wall.
What was his name again?
Snaky Gregory, we used to call him, but I don't know what. His name was Gregory anyway, and if he caught you doing it, he had a pair of leather gloves, and he'd whack you around the ear with that, and he'd say, "You can go and tell your old man," he said, "because if you don't, I will." And your old man used to give you another whacking, because he knew everybody. He was doing his job. He was a proper copper, a proper.
Yeah. So it's all empty over here. Slaughterhouse there. So what was it like around West Street, North Lane? Can you remember any of that?
Yeah, it was just like it is now, really.
Yeah.
Apart from the shops of all altered, it was just, Abbey Street and all that.
Yeah.
And all, of course, down by the Standard Quay and all that, Belvedere Road. There was all factories. Whittles, the Woodyard and Dens, and all the grain people were there, and all Francis Davis, because all the barges used to come up in my day, and the bridge used to work, and we used to be swimming in the basin there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The water was. There was even fish in there when we were young.
So it was quite a busy little port.
Oh, it was busy. Yeah, lovely. Barges used to come up, they'd turn around, and they'd go out. We used to use it. The excuse if he was late for school, it wasn't until I've been at school about a couple of years, I suppose. If he was late for school, I couldn't get the bridge was open, And then they realised that I didn't have to go that way to go to school because I was in West Street. Walker, But I used to go with my mates. We used to go around that way just to have a laugh.
So before the big Shepherd Neame bottling hall, can you remember what was there?
It was Francis Davis was down that way.
Do you know whether there was stables down there? Up near the
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah, because Charlie was there. Charlie, Duke, and Prince. The horses. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about them.
Did you ever feed them or anything?
Yeah, I used to drive them. When my dad was a drainman with.
Oh right.
On the horses. I've been in the steamers and all that.
So you rode on the wagon with him?
Yeah.
And one of his horses was pulling you?
Yeah, and they used to give you the reins and say, you used to have to do nothing because you just sat and he knew where he was going, Charlie did.
Yeah.
We used to leave the brewery when I was at school, on holiday, school holiday, leave the brewery and we used to go over to the castle, right? Yeah. They used to drive it over to the castle. I used to be sitting there on a nice day and this, that and the other. And then we used to go, I think it was the Mariners, the castle.
Is this the castle overall?
Yeah. And then I think it was the Albion. Oh no, it wasn't. No, it was. You come down West Street. Yeah, you used to come down Davington Hill. That's when we used to come back. I used to be driving him down Davington Hill. They used to be operating the brake. And the next one was the castle and the White Horse and the mechanics.
Right.
That was when we used to do. And I used to be. Well, he'd stop. He used to come out, give him a pint of beer. The horse, old Charlie, the big black and white one.
Yeah.
And he used to stand there. 9 times out of 10, my dad and the other bloke had too much to drink anyway, so we wouldn't have been able to tell which way the horse was going. So Charlie used to just go back into the yard, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you forget that?
It was just one of those things. Yeah.
Oh, so then you said steamer. What's?
Oh, when they packed up with the horses, they had 3 horses, Charlie, Duke, and Prince. Well, Prince was the first one to die, and I don't know when Duke died, but I know Charlie was the last one to die because we cried our eyes out when I remember that. And they brought the steamers in, and they're. We know what a steamer is, don't you? It's a lorry with a boiler inside the cab, and then fill it with coal. And it's lovely in the winter, but awful in the summer, you know.
It was really hot then.
Yeah. We used to have our steak and kidney pies on there, put on the top of the boiler, and have them dinner time. And they used to shove along there. Yeah. Fodens, they used to call them, the old Foden steamers.
Right.
Yeah.
And what roughly year was this? It doesn't matter if it's...
I was still at school, so it's got to be, 1945, 55, I was 10, about 60s, I think, 58, 60s.
Did that make you want to work for the brewery, by the way?
No, it didn't actually, no.
Okay. So you've left Davington, you've gone up to Ethelbert.
Yeah.
What was it like then?
No, I didn't like that school.
You didn't?
No, it had to go, but it was just, I wasn't that bright, you know, and it was just a pain, and you know what school was, you know. But I didn't have probably because I didn't have a lot of interest, you know. I wasn't academically, I've got to be this, I want to be a train driver, or I want to be so-and-so. And all I wanted to do was leave school.
Yeah.
And then I just waited to leave school, really.
So you've got no ambition?
No, didn't really. Not like some people do. They want to be a computer scientist, or they want to be so-and-so. But I didn't have anything.
So what was your plan for when you left school then?
Get a job.
Was it easy to get a job without qualifications?
Yeah. You could go in one job and stay there a day and then get another job the next day.
Right.
Yeah, back in them days.
While you were still at school, did you go to any like clubs or?
No, I used to belong to the youth club in South Road.
Yeah.
And that's about all we done, you know.
Yeah. And what was that like?
That was good. Yeah. Yeah, we had some fun there. I was in the Scouts.
Oh yeah. What?
13th Faversham, I was.
13th.
Yeah.
Was that before they become 613?
Oh yeah.
And where did you meet for that?
Up at Solomon's Lane.
Okay.
In the hall there, where it was a hall. Now it's private residence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The gang shows we used to do, and on a camp over Sheppey.
And did you? What was that your whole school life in the Scouts? Or was your Cubs before?
No, I wasn't a Cub. I went straight to the Scouts.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you had to be in there, but I stayed there till I left school, really.
Yeah. So you actually liked Scouts?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. And, I met some nice mates there, you know. And the old Baden Powell hat.
Oh, you had one, did you?
Yeah.
Well, all of yous, or?
All of us, yeah, that's what they wore then. They didn't wear the beret, I think it was Baden Powell hats. Yeah, we got them in the court outfitters department, top of Preston Street. That's where they done them, yeah. Yeah, they were quite expensive for them. I don't know. Mum and Dad bought it for me. But.
Yeah. Youth club, Scouts, is that all you done then? So,
yeah, basically, yeah.
What about the cinemas or?
I used to go to pictures, but I didn't. The Saturday morning club when we was youngsters.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
You like that then?
Yeah, that was good because Lone Ranger, wasn't it, and Champion of Wonder Horse and all them people.
What about Flash Gordon?
Yeah, Cisco Kid.
Cisco Kid, let's go back.
Yeah. He was.
When did your family get a TV? Can you remember?
Oh, we never did have one.
No.
No, we didn't have one.
Right, okay. I just wondered what programmes you were watching.
I used to go over the road because the lady over the road, which is, I don't know what her name was. I can't remember her name. But she had, because the first time we went watched in 1953, Coronation. there was this great big box. There were all us kids in his house in the front room. The door was open. The front door was open. All the kids in there, bread and jam, and this box in the corner, and this screen was about like that, I suppose, about 12 inches, I suppose. And we watched the coronation on that.
Oh,
yeah. And then we had, and then George Fitt Motors used to be where them houses are, just past the mechanics.
Yeah.
That was George Fitt Motors. And we had the street party. We was going to have it in Castle Street, but it rained. So we went in to his garage, into the workshop at the back.
Oh, right.
Yeah. George and Alan Fitt.
And you're still in West Street then?
Yeah.
Because it's been down there?
Yeah.
And when did you leave West Street? Is that when you
When I was about 18.
I
stayed there. Because before that, when we were kids, Mrs. Merrill's, Brian Merrill's mum, she used to be a bus conductress for the old East Kent buses when they had their offices in Court Street.
Yeah.
And she used to run trips for the youngsters. Used to take us on trips to the seaside. And
what seaside was this?
we used to go Margate, Dymchurch. Yes, and used to pack you up for lunch with mum and dad, and off we used to go to the seaside.
Tell me about when you left school. You like it? How you went on?
Well, I just went down. First place I went and looked for a job was the Western Works. I think it was the first place I worked. I went down there and got a job.
How long was you there for?
A couple of years, I suppose. Then I went into the carpenters, the maintenance at the Western Works, and then I got bored with that. So I don't know, where did I go then? I think I went up Faversham Laundry.
Yeah.
And I didn't last very long up there, really. A mate of mine was working in Knowles's, on Bob Gates. He was working in Knowles's, and he said, I ain't getting much money, Ken, and all that, I said, when I come up the laundry, I said, there's good money up there, I said. And he got a job. A week later, I left. Butchers, I went to Lloyd and Johncock, the butchers on the corner of Stone Street. Used to be a butcher's there, where the estate agents is there.
Oh, yeah.
It was called Lloyd and Johncock, Greensteads. And I was there for about 4 or 5 years. And I loved it there. Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd were nice people, treated you like one of the family.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed what I'd done. And Marlon and I wanted to get married. And I said to Henry, Marlon and I want to get married, Henry. I said, and I was getting £7, 2 and 6, I think, a week. No, 5.5 days. And I said, we want to get married, and save up. I said, money's a bit short. Don't worry, Ken, he said, don't worry. I'll see you all right. I thought, I'll get a good prize here. Well, saying that. Anyway, next payday came and I had £7, 12 and 6. So I got 10 bob prize.
Did you stay in that job?
No, I didn't stay there, no.
Oh, well, after that you left?
Well, yeah, because I couldn't say. Marlon was only on about £4, £5 a week or something like that, the hairdresser, And we wanted to buy a house, that's what we wanted to do.
Sorry, what was the name of that butcher?
Lloyd and Johncock, Greensteads. I think it was either Lloyd and Johncock, they were, and then there was Mrs. Greenstead was the original thing, but yeah. Bunny Boulding's wife was the cashier in there her name was Barbara Lloyd.
So what year did you get married?
Well, I've been married 55 years this year, so work that out. What's that? Yeah, 1967. Yeah, 1st of April.
And
60 years we've been, I suppose, really together.
Where did you get married?
Catholic Church.
In Tanner Street?
Tanner Street, yeah.
And where did you have your reception?
Delbridge House.
So where did you... So you got married then, so where was you living from?
We bought our house, we managed to save enough to get our house in Orchard Place.
How long was you there for?
About 3 years, I suppose, 2 or 3 years. 20, number 20 Orchard Place, yeah.
And where What, you sold that and moved somewhere else?
We sold that and moved to a bungalow over Water Lane.
What was it like living over there?
Lovely, nice over there, yeah. Yeah, we had our daughter was born over, well, she was born in Canterbury, but we had our daughter over in, when we was in Water Lane. And you could just go out for a walk, you know. And
did your children go to Osprey School?
no, my daughter went to Boys and Wood School.
Oh, right.
Because we moved over to here, so we got this place. And Dickie Fryer, you know Fryers the Bakers, so he's my best man, he was.
Did you get free bread for your wedding?
No. No.
So what job are we on now then from when I got married?
I was a milkman for a while. When we were married, when we first got married, I was a milkman.
Which dairy was that?
That was for the one down the bottom of Abbey Street.
Was it Unicate?
Yeah, it was Unicate, yeah.
What was that like then?
That was alright, but it was early mornings. So yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning, go and deliver milk. I was stuck out for about 6 months, I suppose. And my stepfather, was home from work one day. He went, get your backside up. He said, get yourself around the brewery. You got an interview. Oh, I thought, I'll give it a go. So I gets, has a wash and gets changed and goes around there. And Bill Filmer said, you're Jacko's boy, are you? I used to call him Jacko. I said, yeah. He said, can you drive a lorry? I went, yeah, of course I can. Well, I'd never drove one in my life before, you know, and I drove a bloody lorry. I drove a milk float, and then I knocked a lamppost down with that. So yes, I said, yeah, I can. He said, can you start Monday? This was on Tuesday. I went, yeah. Righto, he said, down here 6 o'clock Monday.
And this is Shep?
This is Fremlins.
Oh, Fremlins,
yeah. George Beer and Rigdon in them days. 6 o'clock Monday morning. Down the road, loads the lorry up, and this was big old ERF, no power steering, no heater, nothing, just holes in the floor. And he said, right, he said, I'm with you today. He said, so make sure you work, you know. Right, this is my dad. So we're down Ramsgate. Well, I'll tell you, it's the scariest 5 minutes I had getting that lorry at that yard.
And how long was you there?
Oh, what, at the brewery?
Yeah.
25 years.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Any hobbies since you've retired?
Yeah, I like walking, gardening, photography, and grandchildren, decorating. I used to do a lot. I used to do all my own DIY and everything like that.
What do you and Marlene like before you retired? With holidays, things like that?
Yeah, we've been abroad a few times, and but used to go. Every year when we was married, we used to go up to Anglesey see my auntie.
Yeah.
Because she was like another mother to me. You know, she was my mum's sister.
Yeah.
And we used to spend a fortnight up there in the summer.
Going back to your birth dad, his father as such, what was his name?
Arthur Arnold Walker.
And you say he was in the RAF?
Yeah.
Going back to when you was younger, you had the youth club, and then you had like events in the town. What was going on?
Whit Monday sports. That was always a good crack. No, there was all sports cycling, and used to cycle around there.
Around the wreck?
Yeah, there's a cycle track around there.
Is it?
Yeah.
What, where the road is now?
No, on the road, on the grass. On the grass, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Running and all the Whit Monday sports, they used to call it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know when it was at the end of the war or when it was, but I can remember when the 6-5 special came down here. I don't know if you remember that programme.
No.
Yeah, 6-5 special was Joe Douglas.
6-5 special?
Yeah. And the Yanks were over and they dug this pit and they roasted a pig, or a couple of pigs in this pit. And there was, all the 6-5 special, Joe Douglas, Bernard Breslau, I can remember him singing and all that, but...
Yeah. Did you buy a burger then? Or
yeah, well, it's free.
Oh, was it free?
Yeah, the Yanks gave it to you. Yeah, they dug this pit and roasted all this meat and everything. Yeah. Out of the whale of a time.
So
they giving you all free. Well, we never paid to go. Chocolate bars they gave you and everything.
Yeah.
So it must have been something at the end of the war, or it was before the coronation. I know that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So they come down a few years, was it?
They didn't come that once. They only came that once, yeah.
Yeah.
But Whit Monday Sports went every year. We had that every year.
Yeah. So apart from that and the carnival, that's the only events going on then?
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of anything else. Not really, no.
When you and Marlene were, well, either courting or when you were married, did you drink in town, eat?
Yeah, we used to with courting, we used to go and sit out the wreck in the summer house, and then we used to, in the winter time, we'd go into the market in half a shandy and an orange juice and sit there all night in the cold when it was warm.
Oh, what about when you was married though?
Oh, when we was married, we couldn't go out there because we couldn't afford it. We was saving up to buy furniture.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
If we went out, we used to go country and western. When old what's his name run the country, Golden Spur, it was called. That was in the old lecture hall to start with, and then they moved up to the new one up Preston Street, Alexander Centre. We went there once a month, and then of course we went to dinner and dances.
How has the town changed, do you think?
I think it's gone downhill myself.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Well, there's nowhere, you can't shop anywhere, can you? Where can you go in Faversham and get a pair of trousers, a suit, jacket, but back in our days we had Marks and Spencer, Marcus Stores, Richard Gordon's. I mean, we used to sit in the cafe when we were youngsters, Barry, me and a couple of others down Bush's Cafe. And what we get on a Saturday, it's a meeting there Saturday morning. What are you going to do? What should we do today? Oh, I think I'll get a new suit. So we go down to Richard Gordon's, get measured up for a suit. Used to give 10 bob deposit and half a crown a week. But you didn't worry what colour the suit was as long as it had a flashy lining.
Yeah.
You know. And but you couldn't do that now, could you? You couldn't go and buy a suit, sit in the shop, and sit in the cafe and say, well, I can't get a new suit. You know, you could get anything in Faversham, anything you wanted. But now you can't. And there's too many cafes and hairdressers and estate agents and undertakers.
When you was a child to now, I mean, Faversham's grown lots, hasn't it?
Oh, out of this world, isn't it, really? But we haven't got the infrastructure, have we? We haven't got the schools, we haven't got the doctors, we haven't got the water supply, we haven't got the sewerage, you know, it's just, where is it all going to end? I think, anyway.
You said about the clothes shops and getting suits and whatever, but what other favourite shops?
Well, you have to have barbers, Hugh Barbers, a toy shop. There's like Aladdin's Cave in there, DIY shops. But now if you want something DIY, you got to go out of town. I mean, old Morris Weaver's has been taken over, but that's not as good as it. You can go, I went in there for something and you didn't have it, which is unbelievable for Morris Weaver's.
Yeah, but you got juice and...
You can't go in there and buy I want to cut the screws for that. You've got to buy a box of them or a packet of them, haven't you?
Good point.
And it's like the food shops, isn't it? I mean, wonderful food shops. We had Home and Colonial, Walker Stores, International Stores, Vi's, and this, that and the other. And you could go in there and you want 4 rashers of bacon, you know? And they get the side of bacon down and do it on the cutter for you, like Webb's, and nothing's nicer like the old sweet shop, the old quality shop up Preston Street, and the old lady on the corner of North Lane, where the Corporation Wall is. You know where the Corporation Wall is?
Yeah.
There was a sweet shop there.
You say about Bush's, was there any other cafes that you went in, or was that just...
Yeah, Giannetta's, Capaldi's.
Where was that?
Yeah, Capaldi's is about where Boots is now, I think.
Where's Barber's? Is that to do with TU Barber?
Yeah, that's it, Theo Barber.
Yeah, the
Photographer, yeah.
So he was still about when you was a child?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have your photos?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, sitting on a white blanket on a box
Oh, right. What?
with a blue civic suit on with a frill around the collar.
Oh, you was a child? Okay. When you knew.
I don't know where that photo is, thank God.
Oh, I'm surprised. That's a shame. But what is it you love about Faversham?
I like the fact that you can go down and people will talk to you, you know. Well, I mean, obviously I've been here 70 odd years, so I know a lot of people, but I would hate to be somewhere where you could go out and nobody would say nothing. I mean, we can walk down the town to go and get a newspaper and be down there 2 or 3 hours because you've seen so-and-so and so-and-so and so and have a chat, you know. Yeah. And even strangers now are getting that way that they would talk. But that's what I like, you know, you can... you wouldn't be on your own. You wouldn't be on your own in Faversham.
No.
If you was in trouble, there's always somebody there.
Yeah.
And that's the communities. That is the community spirit I like.
Nice one. That just topped it off. Brilliant. That last little bit he's done there, Ken. I would say it wouldn't be like being accosted by someone in the wreck saying, "Oh, will you do an interview?"
Yeah. Didn't really expect that. There you go.